teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Check our YouTube.
Oh, we lit, baby.
Check our YouTube to see Wagwan. You know what I mean?
Wagwan with the Wagwans.
Yeah. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
What is this?
1 2 1 2. What episode is this again?
135.
Rest in peace, Fife Dog.
Rest in peace, definitely the Fife Dog. Episode 135. Welcome to another episode of the True North Views podcast, Toronto's unofficial podcast discussing hip hop, R&B, and the culture. This is the 2020 TNV Awards, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken.
I'm not mistaken. But you just say that.
Vibes.
Like, just in case.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Little chance you might be mistaken.
But of course, let's let the people know what they're watching, and let's let the people know who we are. I go by the name of Harris.
Dildot. I started calling myself Dildot in like regular conversation now. It's crazy.
You should change your name on Chatty to Dildot.
Dildot, that's it. I got this. The caramel god, though.
The caramel guy, you know me. Script master, Mr. Triple Double himself. I got 0 assists.
Hold on, this guy's throwing up John Wall. Check the YouTube.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I forgot what
Stealing
you said.
70 mil from the TTC.
I was like, what does he say next again?
I don't know.
Stealing 70 mil from the TTC. You already know.
My bad. My handsome.
Okay, there's 3 keys at the same time.
Okay.
You can call me Just Shola. And as usual, we are giving you our views from the perspective of a few first-generation.
You got it.
Canadians.
Versus Too Short and E40.
I like the bass here, that's why.
They're both like it's very close to me. I got Too Short. That's all I know. I like his vibes more.
When did we become the Joe Budden podcast where you guys talk over the drop?
What did they do that on Joe Budden?
Do they? I don't even know.
I don't listen to Joe
Having
Budden.
a full out convo that none of you guys can hear.
I was realizing, like, I was gonna hear anything we're saying, but that's half the fun. Piece that together through the little.
Exactly. Look at the mouths. So check our YouTube.
If you can read mouths, you got it.
Exactly. You definitely got it.
And if you're listening on Spotify, you're fucked.
Again, like I said, man, this 2020 TNV Awards, of course, before we even get to anything episode related, we gotta let the people know where to find us. Find us on our YouTube, the aforementioned YouTube. Find us on our Instagram. Find us on our Twitter by the same handle at True North Views. On our YouTube, of course, full episodic experience. You can see what we're drinking, what we're wearing, how our lips are moving when people talk over drops, and kind of get the full vibe. You know what I'm saying? See what Shola's doing right now. Didn't lint brush potentially. So different things along those lines. You get a full visionary experience on our YouTube. Of course, on our Instagram, you will find 60-second sound bites from the respective episode for the week. Different topics of conversation. It could be an album review. Could be something topical that happened, during the week. Whatever's going on, just participate in that. Follow, share, do whatever you need to do on our IG. We definitely appreciate that. And of course, on our Twitter, we do random tweeting, random liking, random retweeting. Hashtag of the day. He might lose though. That's the thing. He's facing Hands of Steel Jeff Neal, fam.
That's true.
30 years
This guy's
old.
a fucking sniper, bro. This guy's so quick, bro.
Yo, show the Jeff Neal highlights, fam.
I don't know,
Yo,
bro.
why did the teleprompter change?
Look at my guy, Hands of Steel.
Yo, change the teleprompter, producer.
Look at my guy, Hands of Boom. Falls right away, fam. What are we talking about?
That's scary.
Kickboxing too. What are we talking about? Oh. Oof. Come on, man. He's dangerous, bro.
That's true, but I think Stevens is just slightly quicker. And he has power too.
I think Neal is gonna cut the ring off, corner him, and hurt him. To be honest, you'll see when this episode comes out.
Yeah,
you'll see. Like I said, man, random liking, random tweeting, random retweeting, hashtag of the day, topic of the day, whatever it may be. Just know that at this point during the 2020 TNV Awards, there's a 100% likelihood that any tweet you see from the @True North Views Twitter account happens while I was
meditating.
Medicating and meditating. Jeez. You see, is very important. It teaches you two very important things. It teaches you awareness, teaches you acceptance, and of course, you got to get to that action. That's the third A.
About that
you know
action.
What I'm saying? If you can get those things off, man, you figure out the keys to life, and you figure out how we're gonna roll into talking about the 2020 TNV Awards, man. You know what I'm saying? 2020 TNV Awards. I forgot we had that. I'm allowed to use that, right?
That doesn't say anything.
Because that's not Tory.
Yeah, it's not Tory. It's just a sound.
That's his entourage, right?
I think he's in there, but it doesn't say anything.
It is what it is.
It's true.
Exactly.
It's true. Listen, man, 2020 TNV Awards. This is going to be a good one.
Bob and weave.
Oh, I thought the thing was starting already. This is gonna be a good one for sure. We got 10 awards for this episode to give you guys. We have a few additional awards because last year we had, I think, 16 or 13 or 11 or no, it wasn't 11. It was either 13, 16 or 18.
It was like 16.
Some shit like that. Anyways, we had more awards last year. This year we're talking about 10 awards on our episode, of course, as it normally comes out, episode 135. But please, please, please stay tuned for the rest of this year for 2020. You will see additional content from the True North Views podcast that will be exclusive to YouTube, and will be exclusive to IGTV as well.
IGTV.
And that will cover a few additional awards to get us similar to the number of awards that we had last year. But again, on today's show, we're going to be talking about 10 different awards. 10 very interesting conversations. Some of them are top fives. Some of them are not. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to think of something a little more clever than that, but it didn't work. Okay, so we got 10 awards to get to. You know what? Let's start
into it.
Let's start pretty hot. Let's start pretty hot at this point. Let's go right into a top five.
Okay.
Let's give the listeners a top five from the jump. Top 5 R&B albums of the year.
My shit.
Now,
that's my shit.
I'll give you guys this one because I don't want to disrespect nobody in R&B. So I'm not even going to try and attempt.
Nah.
So I was like, you know what? Out of respect, end of year, just to celebrate good shit, good, positivity. So I'm gonna let you guys hold this one down.
You know what? I appreciate that,
for
man.
The set.
I appreciate that because, I definitely listened to a lot of R&B this year.
Yes.
My Spotify top list was like...
Your rap, trap,
it was
trap and rap.
No, forget the genres. I'm saying the actual list of songs. Bro, all R&B. I'm like, fam.
Yeah. Solange.
Like, I needed it for a drive, and it was just... Listen, man, it is what it is. So I bumped a lot of R&B this year. Dill, I'm assuming you bumped a lot of R&B this year as well.
And this was probably the hardest list for me to create.
Do you have 5 albums or more than 5 albums?
I've narrowed it down to 5, but it could have been like 10.
So you got. Do
you want to start with some of those ones that didn't make the list?
Okay, you go first.
That didn't make the list?
I'm gonna get flamed for this.
Nah, there's no flaming.
There ain't no flaming.
By the way, we should start it by saying this is our list.
Yes.
Like, just because
important.
If I say Lil Yachty's album is the best album, it's me saying Lil Yachty. Hypothetically. It's not. I'm gonna say well, I need to use a bad album as an example. If I say Big Day is my favorite album, which it's not, that's my favorite album. It's not. I don't care what the critics are saying.
Yeah, so that's important to set that criteria. Any list that we talk about, they are sort of personal favorites.
Yes.
Right.
I'm assuming for all of us, for favorite, we are also considering how it was acclaimed to some degree.
You take into consideration.
It's still our preference at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So you are going to find very diverse lists, very different lists.
Mm-hmm.
You can't flame it.
You can.
If it's not on your list, it's not on your list.
If
it's an honorable mention, it's not so bad.
Exactly. If I think Garth Brooks is my favorite, he's my favorite.
Hey, listen, some of us like Garth Brooks. Okay, so like I said, man, top 5 R&B albums of the year. You want me to go first with my honorable mentions?
Yes. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. How many honorable mentions do you have?
A lot.
Shit. Okay.
Like.
I got 4. I got 4 honorable mentions.
Lister, 1 sentence, 2 max about these albums.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna expand on these at all. Chilombo Jhené Aiko.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Got you.
Phenomenal album. Love that album.
I've heard.
She puts intentional tones in there that work the brain. You know
a lot of good sounds.
Very smart. Another honorable mention. Opia by Savannah Ray, aka Savannah Bay.
Me too. She was very close to being in the top, like very fucking close.
Yeah, really good EP. An artist that I hadn't heard of prior to this year, so I'm very happy that I experienced that. Another honorable mention for me, Jaguar by Victoria Monet. I know. Doesn't crack the 5. I have 5 albums better than that.
I heard that was a fire album this year too.
It was fire.
Okay.
It was fire. And she gained extra points once I learned she wrote for Ariana Grande. Because I started to hear it. So I'm like, okay, I get it. And another honorable mention, Party Mobile, man.
Party Mobile.
I think that album got a lot of flack. But when you play it, people just said it wasn't like, the old shit, so to speak. But you play it top to bottom. And you're going to be like, this album is it. It's deep. It's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I say deep.
It hits better than
it hits
expected.
better. It kind of, gained respect over time with me. And I like it. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Right? I'll stop there with the honorable mentions.
Dylan, got yours ready?
Yeah, so we got Party Mobile, or Mobile, whatever he calls it.
Party Mobile.
I feel like it wasn't all the way an R&B album as well, to be honest.
I can agree with that.
I got Fuck the World by Brent Faiyaz. That was another album that was very, very fucking close to being in my top 5.
I'm actually not mad at that.
Just wasn't quite there enough for me. It wasn't like a complete project for me. What else do we got? Blah, 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 blah. What else do we got here? I'm just scrolling through. The Giveon album as well. But because it was an EP, but the EP was so good that like it could have been an album for me.
Take Time?
Yeah, the last project that he dropped. It was like 4 or 5 tracks.
No, I'm talking about the one he dropped earlier this year.
No, he's talking about the one he dropped.
I swear that was last year, 2019.
No, he dropped something earlier this year. I remember because you
that was this year.
Yep.
I could have sworn that was last year.
And Sasha Chow were talking about it. That's what I remember. That's the reason I remember it so vividly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that dropped in like March.
Oh, okay, that's a different story then. Okay, my list is fucked up then.
No, that's fine.
I thought that was last year. That's why I didn't add it.
Bump someone out.
On the spot.
Bump someone out because you want.
Okay, so when it's all said and done, that was the little EP, right?
Yes.
That's the one with like okay.
But
that's
Take Time.
Still Your Best, and then like okay, Still Your
Take
Best.
Take Time came out in March.
Okay, where's Take Time then? Take Time. That's
the one with Heartbreak Anniversary.
EP. Got you. Favorite Mistake. Ooh.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. That's what I'm like.
Okay. My whole list is fucked up now. Thanks.
I mean, you only got to take out one.
And Summer Walker's another honorable mention for me.
I'm not mad at that.
Because her album was fucking amazing too.
That came out this year?
Yeah.
Oh,
not that one.
Oh, okay, another.
That one's a classic. She came out with like almost like a B-side type of thing.
Okay. And it was still fire.
It was fucking fire. It was
very close.
Okay.
So what's for your top 5?
Right,
so let's go.
One at a time. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's
bang, bang, bang,
exactly.
bang, bang, bang.
That's what I'm saying. Jada Styles, P style. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Number 5 for me.
Ooh.
Hold on. Wait, no. We're only doing that for top, right?
Yeah.
I was about to do it for all of them. That would have been a long show.
Please don't clap until the end. I was about to clap after everyone.
Holy fuck. Okay. Number 5. Ungodly Hour by Chloe and Haley.
Okay.
And the reason why that's my number 5 album, I think what they're doing visually, I'm going to mention Van Jess's name there as well. But again, from an album perspective, I really like this one. What Chloe and Haley are doing visually is insane right now. If you go on their Twitter, you go on their Instagram, I mentioned this when their album dropped as well. They are working this album the way Rihanna works her albums back in the day. The way Beyonce works her albums.
It does feel very Beyonce-esque.
It's exactly. You can tell their school of Beyonce. You can tell they're soaking it all in. And I think this is one of those albums where you may not have loved it at first,
right?
But because again that Rihanna approach, she was making a video for every song, right? That Rihanna approach where you really add that additional value to that album. I think they've done it, especially in a pandemic time. A lot of home performances. They have the money, they have the visuals, they have just the presence about them. That's a special one for sure. Number 5 on my list. Ungodly Hour, Chloe and Haley.
Got you. For me, number 5 was
or Holly, I guess.
Jhené Aiko.
Okay.
I'm a huge Jhené Aiko fan because like she's the way she does music is like very hip hop R&B, but like with her voice being so angelic, it doesn't seem very hip hop, but her vibe is hip hop in its roots.
Like, I get that.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense.
So like, especially down to the features with having like Ab Soul on her album, like they make good music together. And the Nas track was a standout for me as well. It's just the sounds, the vibes that she had. This was probably her best album that she's put out.
Yes, I can agree with that completely. And yeah, I mean, I mentioned her in honorable mention. She was number 6 for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that me?
Oh, that's me.
I was like, yo, who's Kingston here now?
I'm like, wait, what?
And like, she has like the freestyles on here. Like, she's very hip hop, but she's R&B at the same time. So like, I definitely, I don't know who just texted me. That's weird. All right.
So much going on all of a sudden.
That's my number 5 album for the year for sure.
Okay, I'm not mad at that at all. Number four on my list. A Muse in Her Feelings.
Is that
Muse in Her Feelings?
DVSN. Shout out to Toronto, by the way.
By Division. Yeah, definitely the Toronto Connect there. Shout out to the Toronto Connect Division. There was a lot of songs on there that had a ton of replay value for me, right? Even down to the record with Snow Allegra that they had was in my Spotify top songs played, like that song specifically, and that's not even the best song on the album.
It's not.
So it's like that alone kind of explains the story about that album. It's real good, man. I think it does embody Toronto in a lot of ways with respect to their sound, because they go from like a partier type of vibe to like a reggae type of vibe influence. And then they switch it back to the slower type of thing. They really incorporated the Toronto sound. They created the Toronto sound in a lot of ways. And to me, this was just a top performing album, top to bottom.
1,000%. For me, number 4 was Anniversary by Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
Now, this album got a lot of flack from a lot of people. But I didn't see, like, this album was really fucking good. Like Sorrows is probably one of my favorite songs this year. Like, not even just in R&B, like in all music.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like, he fucking flamed that shit. The production was absolutely amazing. His voice sounded great. The lyrics, what he was writing, what he was saying, like everything that he was talking about was absolutely fire. This is probably, I don't want to say it's back to Trap Soul, but like it's like a notch under Trap Soul for sure. Okay. In terms of his projects, and that's saying a lot, because Trap Soul is up there for sure. But it's pretty much there. Like, it's not quite there, but it's there, and that's a high bar to hit. So that's why it has to be number 4 for me.
Okay, I'm not mad at that at all. So number three on my list, Take Time by Giveon. For as great as that album is, it only makes number 3.
Yeah.
That album is phenomenal. I mean,
amazing.
We know Giveon is phenomenal. The return of that type of voice, that type of sound,
like
that type of vocalist, I should say,
rich voice. Like,
we haven't had that in so long. I couldn't tell you the last time we had that. I'm not an expert in the genre from that perspective, but Giveon for me just has like a real elevated value. And the reason for that is because, again, I saw him November 2019 with Snow Allegra.
Yeah. You did?
Before he had music on Spotify.
Yep, I remember you talking about it.
And I was like, yo, this guy that opened Giveon, this guy is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And literally a year later,
he's on Drake's track.
He's on a Grammy, a Drake track.
Wow.
He's on top of the world, like, in terms of the R&B world.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to act like I discovered him. I know I did not.
You're just saying.
But to experience that moment when he was doing covers. His set was a Daniel Caesar cover.
Oh, wow.
I know what you're saying, because I always say I saw Chance before, just when, not even Acid Rap, the one before Acid Rap even came out, it just dropped. Yeah. Like, I know what you're saying. You're not even saying that you just found it early, just like, it feels so nice.
Yeah,
like,
and then it's like a few months later, I was like, I knew this guy was fucking special.
Yeah.
To a point where I had a convo with him to tell him, like, personally, your shit's crazy.
This man spoke to
your voice is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then to see that just a short time later, it's a special connection from that perspective.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That's a phenomenal album. Take Time by Giveon. Yeah, that one's great.
Honestly, like, that album would be there for me too, but I'm gonna stick to mine. what I got here. So what are we on, number 3?
Number 3.
So I got The Album by
Tiana
Taylor as number 3. Now, it was really tough for me because when we're getting to like the number 3, number 2 kind of spot, this album could easily be number 2 for me.
It becomes like 1A, 1B, 1C
kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like this album was absolutely phenomenal from top to bottom. There's absolutely no skips. First of all, even the track with Iman Shumpert is fire. Like Iman Shumpert.
I love Iman Shumpert.
Yeah, I know you think he's a good rapper. I was he's a shitty rapper.
I don't think he's a shitty rapper, but I didn't expect him to sound this good on the album.
That way.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying he's shit at all, but like I didn't expect him to be this good.
Yeah.
Like on the album, like they sound great together. I wish they would make more music together. To be honest, like on some Big Sean Jhené Aiko shit, like that'd be fire.
So you want to see 2088?
2088, The Revolution. And then the track with Erykah Badu is probably like one of my top favorite songs this year, hands down. She blends the sound so well, like with having like the Vito track on it as well, kind of giving it like a little reggae vibe with Bad.
The patois on it at times.
I'm like, she sounded really good with the patois, like especially like I hate when Americans speak patois because like
they don't got it.
It sounds terrible. I'm just gonna
she gotta really be Jamaican though. She looks Jamaican.
She must be kind of Jamaican or something.
Or she has something in her like her history.
Her history, like her parents.
Maybe her grandmother or like
the lineage, you know. But she must be Jamaican. So I definitely, this is number 3.
Number 3, yes.
Yeah, number 3 for me.
Okay. Speaking of just kind of shuffling orders and having a hard time, number 2 for me, a little bit of a hard time. I talked about this throughout the year as being my number 1. But it kind of went down to number 2 as of November.
Damn. So end of the year came in big. Honestly, end of the year came in big this year. I won't lie.
You know,
end of the year was really huge.
So at number 2 for me,
I don't know if
it was Good Until It Wasn't by Kehlani. It was Good Until It Wasn't by Kehlani. I think again, this album very much could be number 1 for me. It's a phenomenal album. I think the timing of this album was perfect in terms of, you know, Kehlani's name being up there for celebrity stuff that was going on, her expressing and talking about her growth as an artist, her exploration as an artist, the pandemic and her visually showing that she's learning different things, learning how to produce, learning how to shoot videos, things like that. And just the growth in her sound, the advancement of her sound. I think she's kind of come into form in a lot of ways.
Yeah, she's here.
I feel like she's found her sound.
She did. She definitely did.
I feel like she was one of those names that was discussed as really good, but now it's like, no, she's top.
She's
superstar status.
She's here. She's A genre, S genre, however you want to see it.
Multiple time All-Star about to come.
She's here to stay. Yeah. She had the numbers, right? What did
Jason
she say?
Tatum. She's Jason Tatum at this point. Now she's like,
I like that comparison.
That's a great comparison.
No, she shows she can carry her team, and she's here to stay.
Like, I like that comparison.
I'm going to be more All-Star games.
And getting better every day.
And getting better, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, again, this was my favorite R&B project for the year, for the entire year, but I actually have it at number 2 on my top 5 R&B albums of the year.
Yeah, it gets really tough at this part. Like, this was almost impossible for me to do, but I had to put Jaguar at number 2.
Jaguar is...
Now, I listened to Jaguar a bit late, so that may be, like, it might skew my perspective on it.
Recency bias?
Yeah, I think so. But when I heard it like a few months, like maybe about a month or 2. I think a month ago. But a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Something like that.
Sometime soon. Sometime not so long
ago. Sometime recently.
Yesterday.
But there's no skips on this.
Yes.
That's hard.
0 skips.
That Moment record was one of my records of the year according to Spotify.
What was I going to say? I'm going to go through it because I need to go back and see like exactly what I fuck with here. Where the fuck is it?
Jaguar, and you had that on your honorable mention too. Like, and that's
crazy.
A lot of these lists always just end up just being one person has it up here, another person has it down there. Like that's all.
Yeah. Moment is absolutely phenomenal. Like it's a beautiful way to start the album.
Yo, hold on. Can I cut you off for a second? She just came out with a Jaguar Christmas, the orchestral arrangements. Oh my god!
I've seen that.
I gotta download that on my way home.
Sorry,
now.
Please proceed.
Even to tracks like Ass Like That, like just like showing the range, like showing what she can do. Like she can do everything. Like This is the most flawless R&B album that I've heard in a long fucking time.
And that's one thing like, I have heard about Victoria Monet. Is that she is like so talented, like she's a dancer. She can sing in so many different ways. She plays so many different instruments. Yeah, like, people don't know how much she can do.
She does everything.
Everyone that works behind the scenes always like hip hop, non-hip hop acts have always talked about how good she is and how talented she is, and people don't even realize.
And again, going back to honorable mention, she would have been number 7 on my list. Right? So. Yeah, man. Again, that's a fucking quality album. Okay.
We're at number 1.
Okay, we're at
number 1.
Number 1. Where is my?
That's what you want to do.
Drum roll, please.
So you want to do for every? Did we do that last
time? My number 1 R&B album of the year. The album by Tiana Taylor. Number 1. I had her.
I'm not mad at that.
I had her at number 2 all year.
Yeah.
And Kalani at number 1.
Right.
And then I played both of those albums back to back, and I was like, this Tiana album is different.
I love
I don't want to repeat the things that you said. So what I'll say in addition to what you said,
I like that,
is that this album is timeless. She has a timeless style. We even heard her on the BET Freestyle. She sounded like she was in the 90s.
Yeah.
90s.
We see her even fashion-wise. She looks like she could be with Lil' Kim.
She can come out in any
You know what I'm saying? She could come out in any
she's
era.
A boss. She's a boss.
She has that timeless music, that timeless sound. I think she's one of the closer voices to pure R&B. And that's because she has that soul element as well.
I could see that.
If you notice, a lot of R&B artists don't have the soul element.
That's true.
Right? Now, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's just a different subgenre of R&B.
Right.
Right? I like R&B soul personally more than I like R&B. And Tiana Taylor is that.
Yeah.
This album was that. And to your point, there are no skips. So, yeah, I mean, that's my number 1 album, number 1 R&B album for the year. I'm telling you, that Tiana Taylor, that album?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Shout out to Tiana. Don't retire, babe. Keep making music.
Okay. Hold on. Let me give you a drum roll, too.
All right. Number 1 album is... The winner is... A Muse in Her Feelings.
DVSN.
It had to be. And this is not Toronto bias by any stretch.
No, not at all.
No.
To be honest. Because, like, man... I think on my most played songs this year, that Popcorn track is top 10. on my Apple Music replay.
That's
180
funny.
on the Gardner. Who is doing 180 on the Gardner Express?
Cheese.
You're
not even touching more than 135 on the
Honestly, fam, that's probably like that.
Yeah, you're not doing one. Yeah, Gardner's mad too small.
And you're not doing the windiness
of the Gardner.
You're wild at Popcorn. Yo, what's wrong with you?
180.
Is she
I
that
ain't
bad?
boredoms on that.
She's that bad? You got a speed?
I had to pull the record back bare times when he did that.
Fam. I said, pull up for your body, girl. What you expect? Jeez.
Oh my God.
Shout out to
let's give that a round of applause then, man.
Yeah, shout out to Popcorn. Shout out to Division. I don't even know what to say about this album. Like, this album for me was like, it brought me through, I think it came out in the summertime, right?
It did.
Yeah, so this was like the soundtrack for my quarantine summer, you could say.
They had their concert off this too, no?
4 of them.
I think I don't know who this girl is. Chantel May, the outro track
is fantastic.
Chantel May, I've heard of her.
Chantel May is amazing. Chantel May is amazing.
Oh my God,
is she from Toronto too?
Is she?
I don't know. I hope so.
I think she is.
I really, really hope so, and I hope she makes more music. I need to find her.
Chantel with an S or
Chantel
with a C. With S?
Is it?
I think it's a C still.
Chantel with S.
But yeah, let's give that a round of applause though, man. Number 1 album for
Number 1 album, Division, Muse in Her Feelings.
I like that. We started pretty hot still. We started pretty hot.
I like that. I like your
top
list
5.
too.
That was good. I feel like we did top R&B 5, justice.
Top 5.
You know, we were like, she is from Toronto, East End, by the way.
Oh, I love it. East End, that's not surprising. East End is very talented.
They really are.
All right,
East End housing projects.
Let's move on then to our second award.
Top non-hip hop or R&B albums. Because now that we added Dylan does bring a lot of non-hip hop influence. Yes, he does. So shout out to Dylan for bringing this up. Because if you didn't bring this up, you would have not heard this category.
Okay.
So I
Dylan like this category.
Head this category off. Like, because I only really have like 2 or 3 albums on top of my head.
I'm gonna do 3 as well. So I think my number 3 album will be.
You don't know. You don't even know.
Colores by J Balvin.
Yeah, you've been talking about Colores.
I don't know. There's not much to say about it. It's just the whole album's a vibe. There's a track with Mr. Easy that's absolutely flames.
Mr. Easy's fire.
Yeah, he's absolutely flames. So shout out to J Balvin for that one. Numero 3.
I don't have like 3. I only have like 2 to freestyle.
I only have 2 to freestyle.
That's cool.
So what's your number 2?
You gotta go next.
Because you have a list.
Number two is gonna be Swimming by Mac Miller. Now I wanted him to be in the hip hop category, but re-listening to the album, it's not even. He's singing on 70% of the album.
Okay.
So like, I couldn't put it in the hip hop, so I had to be alternative, I guess.
Yep.
But if it wasn't my hip hop album, it'd be number 1, low key. But that's a different story.
Okay. I'll go next with my number 2. I don't know much about this genre, but I enjoyed this album a lot more than I thought it was. It's on Bad Bunny's El Ultimo Tour del Mundo. I don't know much about what he's saying, to be honest, but it was a vibe in my ear. Yeah. And every time I was listening to it, I was like,
learn Spanish.
It was a vibe.
Bad Bunny's a vibe.
So
when did y'all try to learn?
I respect Bad Bunny for that.
Yo, I'm not going to lie. I thought I had 2.
But you had 1.
But I only have 1.
So I'll go next again.
Please.
Right.
My number 1 is, of course, Twice as Tall by
Jeez.
Burna Boy.
I guess that's my number 2.
It was fire. It was a fire album. How much more can I say? It's Afrofusion, as he calls it. That's a good way I'll call it too. It's not 100% Afrobeat, but it's also not like trap or hip hop. So bump that.
Yeah, definitely fusion.
Here, so what's your
my number 1 is Fixtape by Popcorn, man.
Ooh.
Fixtape by Popcorn. I actually
pickups.
had that very close to one of my albums of the year.
Right.
I just didn't replay it too many times, but that shit top to bottom.
Fire?
That shit is fire.
I've heard.
That shit is fire. And if Outside was open, I feel like this album would have got maybe a lot more acclaim.
Oh, hell yeah. It would have hit differently.
You know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of albums
in terms of
would have hit
Canada
a lot
States.
Differently if Outdoors was open.
100%.
Facts.
If Outdoors was open.
But that's all I got, man.
My number 1 album is
Non-hip hop, non-R&B.
Sorry. Modus Vivendi by 070 Shake.
Not mad at that.
See, I didn't bump that. It was on my list to bump to rebump, but I didn't.
It's good. At first, I mean, sorry, I don't want to steal your shine on that.
What was I gonna say? But top to bottom, it's absolutely flames. It's like her vibe is so different. Like I
agree with you.
I think she's like a Kanye / Travis Scott fusion. Like if they did the fusion dance and they created somebody, it would be 070 Shake.
That's funny. What was the Kanye record called that she was on again?
I was on that bipolar album.
Be Free. Breathe. What's that shit called again?
I don't remember.
Free?
I think so. She was on a couple tracks.
But yeah, she was that track was fire. We bumped that a lot. Well, I know I bumped it a lot.
Her voice just hits different.
Amazing.
Sonically.
It does.
It puts you in a trance.
And like he said, it wasn't like a hip hop thing she was doing. It wasn't necessarily hip hop. It was something different.
I do remember before we move on to officially our third award, I suppose. Yeah, no, when I first bumped that, I wasn't overly impressed by it, but I think I have to revisit it.
Yeah, revisit it. It'll hit differently, especially in the car on like a winter afternoon. And
that's things. Now that winter's coming, I want to rebump some albums I felt were not meant for summer.
Yeah,
they're meant for like cold days indoors, or not cold, but indoor days, the lazy days.
I'm into it for sure.
Next award.
All right, let's move on to our next award, man. Our next award. Let's talk about some artists to watch out for in 2021. What do we got? What's the award title? The Watchmen 2020.
Hey. I like that. Watchmen 20. I like that.
I don't know, man.
So this is like up and coming artists to watch out for, basically.
Yeah. Whatever you feel is your interpretation of that title. Yeah. It could be a hidden gem. It could be someone on the brink of bursting. It could be whatever you feel.
Got you.
You could say Jack Harlow if you wanted to.
If you want to, exactly.
All right, he's your favorite rapper after all, right?
No, he is. He's definitely top 5.
But yeah, man, artists to watch out for in 2021.
Yes.
I got 2 names. I got two names.
Me too.
One of my names technically doesn't count because he's Grammy nominated, and that is Giveon.
No, it still counts.
I agree with that. Counts. To me, it still counts.
Just because you got nominated early doesn't mean
that guy came out in November 2019,
and he's and a year later he's everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my I'm cheating answer because he was Grammy nominated. But if there's one artist to watch out for in 2021, Blast.
Yeah.
Blast. Okay.
I'm going with Blast. I'm going with Blast. I think he has that sound. I think he has a sound that is very genre fluid in terms of just fitting everywhere. You can play it in any setting. We kind of think about, in this industry, unfortunately, we look for younger, fresher versions of artists all the time. And I feel like he fits a few different molds of this is a younger, fresher version of insert person here.
That's right.
So yeah, Blast. I think Blast is going to be one of those artists by the end of next year becomes, not to say a household name, but relatively close to a household name.
Got you. My first person is Toby.
I like Toby. I like
that a lot.
Well, Toby,
because he's getting the features now.
Yeah, he's getting the features.
That's a good point.
I think he's signed now to Sony or RCA, one of those labels.
I think it's Sony.
So I think, and Sony's a big label, so he's definitely gonna start to be getting pushed a lot more now.
If I saw him with a capacity of like 42.
I know, right? When you told me that, I was like, damn, I was cheating.
I remember him freestyle battling Tory Lanez at Campion in Brampton, like. That's like he was Tech Rhymes. Like man wasn't even Toby that back then.
That's
man was Tech Rhymes. To see the evolution of Toby is absolutely phenomenal, and I think he's gonna just take it even further.
Toronto's got talent.
And he's correct me if I'm wrong. He's from the east.
He's from Brampton.
Oh yeah,
he's from Brampton.
My bad.
Brampton,
West. He West. Okay.
Do you have number one? I was gonna go back on two each. Oh, you went number one, didn't you?
Well, I said like Giveon's my cheat answer.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
But my actual.
So you want me to go next then?
Sure, whatever.
Okay, so because this guy's more of a cheat answer.
Wait, do you have another?
I got another one.
Okay, let's hear it.
That's what I was saying. Might as well finish it off.
My fault.
Oh, yeah. Should I go?
Yeah.
Oh, mine was Blast too. I think I haven't seen any of his visuals yet, but in terms of sound, he has the whole entire package.
An album cover.
That's
a part of visual.
That is a part of visuals for sure. But I want to see like how he vibes to his music kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of helps me get the whole package, the whole image of you as an artist. But so far he sounds fucking amazing, bro. Like his lyrics, his content, the relatability of it is phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do in the future in terms of like having more features and stuff like that on other people's projects as well.
Okay, I like that.
I haven't listened to Blast until you guys talked about him a few weeks ago and heard him. So maybe that's why he's not on my list. But from what I did hear, he did sound like someone I would listen to as well. Like he has a good future. For the person I'm picking for my artist to watch, Watchmen 2021, is this guy. So he's kind of cheap because he's kind of blowing up now towards the end of the year. 24K Golden.
Yeah,
you'll probably see his name around a lot.
Because you were mentioning him for a minute.
Yeah.
So.
He had a song last year. I don't want no, just want Valentino.
Yeah, every time I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that guy, he sang that song. If you now know who he is, I think he has a good future. He's young. I think he's 18 or 19, and
oh wow,
he's almost in that mode of he's not necessarily a rapper, kind of like in that little bit of a rock-ish to his style. So I like that about him. Now my real or for sure the person I'm watching out for is Tusi. He had an album this year, which I thought was one of my. It's not on my list, but it was a really good album this year. He has a lot of different styles. Even the first time I heard him, and when I heard him second time, I didn't even know it was the same person. And on his album, a lot of times he doesn't even sound the same on two different songs. So he's someone that, even though I feel like he didn't have the album of the year or a top album this year, it was a solid first album for his showing, and someone I think we should watch out for. So
let's see what happens. So let's see what happens with these artists again at the end of the year. Now, obviously, this is not our first time doing this.
No, it's not.
We did this last year as well.
Yes, we did.
We had a few names that we mentioned last year, so let's kind of just revisit those anecdotally. Who did I have? I had Rod Wave and D Smoke.
Yes.
That's good though. Rod Wave's streams were up there. Remember we saw Rod Wave's streams?
Didn't he drop an album this year?
And he was like one of few people with like 1 billion streams or some shit.
He was like people with 1 billion streams that like
Smoke.
Rod Wave.
I was gonna say
there was a list of people with 1 billion streams. Like everyone's like A-list, like A1 acts, and then you see Rod Wave is in the middle there, and they're like, yeah, he has like fans that actually stream his stuff a lot.
Yeah, he's nice, bro. I like him.
No, he's nice.
Did he drop an album this year or last year?
I think Definitely last year for sure, but there's probably another one this year. I feel like he not switched his sound, but I feel like he kind of mainstreamed it a little bit in some regard, which is exactly what we expect. Yeah. So I'm not mad at that at all. But yeah, I think I was correct there, man. I think I was correct there.
And then you said
D-Smoke as well,
and he had a fire album this year.
He had a fire album. He was Grammy nominated.
Exactly. Yeah. So not bad.
Enough said.
I said Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, that's a cheat code.
That is definitely a cheat code.
But that was just because I was like, at the time the box had not blown up yet. This was December last year. Let me just let you guys know. So I already called Roddy Ricch because I had heard his album. I was like, this album is fire, and he would have been bigger if it came out earlier in the year, I think, or more on my list. So shout out to them.
Jeez.
Let's see where our guys go next year.
Okay. Let's see what happens next year once we revisit that again.
See you same time, same place.
Jeez. Maybe not same time, but you know
what I'm trying to say.
50 some odd episodes later, you'll catch us here again. Okay. All right. So if we're talking about some artists to watch out for, we revisited the artists that we talked about in 2020 to watch out for. Let's talk about Rookie of the Year. Rookie of the Year. Right? So it's kind of along the same vein, artists to look out for, that kind of thing. So in the year of 2020, who was your Rookie of the Year? Now, we describe Rookie of the Year as an artist that you discovered this year.
Exactly.
Now, if you're only discovering T.I. this year,
hey, that's your rookie.
All the power to you.
It's your league.
That's a mud thing.
That's Imagine you're about to Drake this year. Like, I just listened to Duff and Demo Taste. It was so fire. This Drake guy.
Who is this guy Drake? This guy's really good.
You know that guy Travis Scott?
Yo, Jay-Z? He is so 444? I kind of just found out about it.
Yo,
imagine people live like this.
There probably is. No way.
I'm dead. Rookie of the Year. I'll go first only because my pick is
he's everywhere.
A multi-award winner, so I don't need to say too much about him.
Multi-TNV award winner.
Yo, give that. I like that. Still. Give that. Oh man, I'm gonna give this to Giveon, man. My Rookie of the Year is Giveon again, from zero to Grammy.
Yeah, shout out to him, bro. He don't.
I might get him with the grapple. I might triangle him. That's the thing. That's what I told him.
Bro, he had it was like a flying triangle, man. Like jumped up and fucking caught him in the air,
desperate.
Bro. That was nasty.
He has the better grappling. Durden has the better.
It's not in there.
Durden has the better stand.
It's not in his arm still.
Might turn him. He's done. If he gets the back leg, trip him. I don't know. I think he's wasting his energy.
Giveon?
But yeah, I'm giving that to Giveon, man. I think again from literally not having music on streaming.
He tapped.
Wow.
Oh, I
wow! I fucking told you.
I didn't even think you had it.
That's a good pick.
Wow.
But yeah, literally from having nothing on streaming to being one of the R&B albums of the year, probably one of the albums of the year, Grammy nominated, one of the singles of the year. Yeah, Giveon. Enough said.
Fair enough. I'll go next.
Okay, good.
I had a hard time with this just because I didn't know of anyone I really discovered this year, to be honest. Like, I really didn't go on my discovery trip like I didn't feel like I discovered anyone. So I know, but I did find out. Like, I really didn't discover someone, but someone that made a re-emergence. Someone that was in the big in college and then faded away for a little few years and then just got drafted this year.
I think it's a fair pick though. Like, I don't think you even need to justify. I'll be honest with you.
My pick is Big Lotto.
I like it. I do like it.
I feel because I heard of her because of this TV show she won, The Rap Game, which was Jermaine Dupri's show.
Oh yeah.
Which she was like 3 years ago and she won it. And it was kind of interesting, so I watched it. But so I heard of her from there. That's why she's not new to me, but I feel like she made waves in 2020 with the Gucci. Nicki Minaj shouting her out. Her album supposedly is really good. Queen of the Soup. I've not listened to it yet, but I will listen to it. She had that track with 2 Chainz. That was a big look at the end of the year. And just like her name's buzzing towards the end of the year, and I do like her trajectory. I really like her bravado when she raps too. Like, even though I'm not a fan of her topics, just because personally it doesn't relate to me, I do like the confidence.
Bravado, like you said.
Like, I love that. Like, she was like, I'm gonna tell this guy do this and he's gonna do it. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
And again, she's just confident in her ability. There's no subconscious comparison of who is deemed to be at the top.
She's not beefing with nobody. She's doing her thing. I'm good at what I do.
I'm out here.
So shout out to Big Lotto, Rookie of the Year.
That's your Rookie of the Year. Okay,
I like it.
Not mad at that. She definitely is buzzing right now for sure. Like she's being handled well. Whoever's handling her or managing her, they know what they're doing.
Okay.
Dill Stew Dot.
Dill Stew Dot.
Sorry, Dill Dot.
This was really, really fucking hard for me because like I listened to a lot of music this year and I discovered a lot of artists this year. So for me, can I say like 5 of them?
You can say you can do whatever you want.
Don't explain them all.
I will not. They're all self-explanatory anyways. So number 1 for me was Don Toliver. I got Polo G.
And I almost put him in my rookie, but I felt like,
bro, his album was disgusting.
I know, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to go more to myself, but I felt like he was too big to be rookie of the year. That was just my personal.
But I don't understand. I never heard of him till this year.
I know what you're saying, though. I never heard of him till this year too.
As the award is described,
you know what I'm saying?
Everyone, you discovered.
It's all up to every award is up to you.
Facts.
So.
And then my next guy was Fabio 4.
That's a good rookie. That's a good rookie. I see. That's something I blanked out of my head.
And then
that's like the 30-year-old rookie that puts up the NBA.
I like that reference.
Is Fabio young?
He's not. He's 30.
Okay, I thought so.
He's 30. Like he's 31 or something.
All right,
because he does not look young at all. And my last one was King Von. Rest in peace.
King Von. Yeah, that should have been my because I didn't want to put him somewhere on my list, but I didn't know where to.
Yeah, that's actually.
But actually, I know where to put him. He's going to be on something on the IG. Watch for the IG.
That's a great pick. All right, cool. I like that. Let's go.
Fabio was born in 1990, by the way.
Oh, wow. He's 30 years old.
So he's 30. Yeah, March 29th. So
interesting. Okay, let's talk about. We got to throw a little bit of hate in these awards, right?
It's not really hate. It's more like distaste.
Disappointment.
Disdain,
if you will, right? We're gonna talk about the underwhelming album of the year.
Yes.
Or underwhelming albums of the year. Now, again, in my opinion, this is described as not necessarily bad music, but just music that didn't quite hit your expectations or just didn't quite deliver, in your opinion.
Right. And I like the way you say it. It's not bad music. It's just saying, if I expected this and you gave me this, you underwhelmed.
For example, I don't think Logic No Pressure was amazing.
Exactly.
But my expectations weren't amazing, so it didn't
underwhelm. Exactly.
It whelmed me.
I was satisfied.
It whelmed me.
I was pleasantly whelmed.
I was whelmed. I'm mad whelmed. So, I really only have one album on here, and I think a lot of it, I think a lot of it just, I didn't have too many expectations of too many albums or projects or artists. And actually, if there was an honorable mention for this category, it would be insane because I think it's such good music. My only honorable mention would be Spilligion, believe it or not, by Spillage Village.
No, I'm surprised. I didn't see anyone's top album.
A lot of people have it. I mean, really? More in the 15 to 20 range. Or
but it wasn't like in the top 10, which I expected it to be.
Yeah, I liked it. Personally. But I have a different expectation of Spillage Village. Exactly. If that makes sense. The only album I have on here, man, is Blame It on Baby by The Baby.
I agree with you on that.
This is his album that came out in April. So this was coming off of 2 what I thought were good albums.
Yeah, which we did say was too close together, by the way.
We knew he was, super hot in terms of an artist. Still is. Let me not take that away from him.
Not was.
So, and again, we know it. His mental state and things like that, and that impacting the music in April wasn't really pandemic time.
It was beginning. End of March was the
in the States as well, or was it still?
End of March is when we locked down. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this came out, I think, mid-April, so it would be around that time.
I remember driving to work listening to.
So
Rockstar.
To me, it just was so miss.
Yeah, I agree. It
wasn't Baby on Baby type beats.
Baby on Baby, I had like half that song saved to my
Baby
playlist.
on Baby was fire. So I thought as your third third project since you've been in the limelight, you're already on top of the game right now in terms of an A artist. I thought it was going to come crazy on Blame It on Baby, and it just didn't. It just fell short. So that's really my only underwhelming album of the year.
I'll go next, actually, Dylan. You can end this out. I'm not even going to spend time on these. Most of these, you already know why. Don Toliver, Heaven or Hell. I'll spend a little bit of time on this. Not even a little, just a few sentences.
That was underwhelming?
So, after Party and that song with Internet Money that's been blowing up, I was like, maybe I listened to this. Maybe I was just wrong in this.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to it. And it's not that he's bad. It's just that every song sounded the same. So even though After Party was a hit, it sounded like the song after. And it would sound like the song after. So when you listen to him in a row. I'm like, it wasn't that great. So Don Toliver, Heaven or Hell, wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. It was underwhelming. Lil Yachty, Lil Bo 3. Need I say more?
Yeah.
T Grizzly, The Smartest. This just made me
my bad
officially know that T Grizzly cannot rap. Like I've always said,
that's tough.
I've always said T Grizzly's a bad rapper, but in this album was just like, nah, he is a bad rapper. Like, his bars are weak. Like his beats don't his flow doesn't match his beats choice. Lucky trapped on Cleveland 3. I was just disappointed. I liked his last album, which was Long Live Mexico. That was one of my favorite albums, 2018. Then this just came on. It just felt there was no growth. Sound exactly the same.
Got you.
Internet Money Before the Storm. For a bunch of producers, I expected some fire beats. I thought that was just meh. Not that it was bad. It was just meh. Underwhelming.
I agree with that.
Jack Harlow. That's what they all say. It just didn't meet my expectations. That's it. Again, I'm not saying it was bad. It just didn't meet my expectations.
Fair.
Okay.
And as Harris called this, Big Ass Day.
I'm like, what's that shit called again? Big Ass Day? What's that shit called?
The Big Day by Chance the Rapper. I'm not even going to talk about this. We've all said it. We've all read about it. We've all heard about it.
I'll be honest with you. I forgot it came out.
It came out this year.
Otherwise, it would be on my list as well.
Very disappointing from Chance the Rapper. We all know. We all thought we knew what Chance the Rapper could give us.
And now his manager suing him.
And,
wow.
Yeah, so
what a
speaks
mess.
For itself.
That's it.
For me, I have one underwhelming album, and it's Eternal Take by Lil Uzi.
I'm not mad at that.
No, actually, I agree with you.
The amount of hype and as long as that we waited for this album, it did not even touch anywhere close to the expectations.
It didn't. It fell off the chart. I think like
the
2 weeks after.
Baby Pluto album, he was
better?
Going way crazier on that album than he did on his own album, which
I believe
is
you.
to me.
I believe you.
Yeah. So that album was pretty trash to me, low key.
It was.
It was trash.
It was.
It was. When you think about it,
it was. I actually bumped it once or twice.
It did numbers. It plays. Don't get me wrong. I'll put that on a playlist. Give me that album in shuffle, and it's great on the playlist.
Yeah.
Give me that as an album.
When I'm cleaning my house, like I'm not really listening to it. Like you're not listening to some background noise. I'll throw it on.
No, it's true. It's true. Shit, what we got next? Feature
King or Queen.
The feature King or Queen, the feature artist of the year.
Hey, I like everyone's
feature
names.
Artist of the year. Now, for this one, I had to think about the first artist that came to my mind, and the only prominent artist that came in my mind. Otherwise, I would have to kind of scavenge and think, oh, that track and that track and that track. So when I think about like
features,
not having to think about which tracks were good or big or that I liked, and just think about who was on top of the feature game that I can think of.
Yep.
I have to go to Lil Durk.
Okay, fair enough. I
have to go straight to Lil Durk. I feel like he was on everything. I feel like, he's been one of those artists. First of all, switched his sound.
Yeah. Yup, he did.
Gained a bigger following since doing that.
Yup.
Stayed kind of in that low key range, like a Currency type of person, where it's just I just put out music for my fans, and my fans listen to it.
He put on his boy,
obviously, and from there it's just like, wait, how the heck did he get here?
Now he's with Drake. Now he's on singles with Drake.
That shit came out of nowhere. I was like,
it kind of came out of nowhere, and
definitely, I like
he remained himself. He stays himself as well. He keeps his sound. Oftentimes when he's on a feature, the track sounds like a Lil Durk track.
I swear we talked about him being good on features too at one point during this year.
Yeah, we did.
Like we did
about a month ago.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean my feature artist of the year definitely is gonna be Lil Durk.
That's
I like that.
Good fucking pick.
That's a big pick.
For me, this was tough. Like again, I have a few artists, but my number one would have to be Big Sean because like he did not miss. Like when it comes to rapping and being able, like he straddles the line of being like a rapper and being a pop rapper.
Yeah, yes. He does
like perfectly. So when he does the features, like it sounds pop, but it's still rap. And
like Ludacris.
And nobody right now is doing that better than him. I don't think.
No, fair enough.
I like that.
My feature rapper of the year, feature artist of the year.
I guess we know it's a rapper now.
Is Wiz Khalifa. Okay. I heard him on a lot of albums. I think a lot of albums I heard him on. I know all the albums I heard him on. He was fire. His verse was always fire. The Made in Tokyo verse was one of the hardest verses I heard this year.
Which album was that from? The Juicy J?
Was it? Oh no! Did you see J verse was one of the hardest
that's what
ones?
I was thinking about.
That was one of the hardest verses I heard.
That's your girl.
Then
why she?
That's definitely one of the verses of the year.
So and then he also was on some radio tracks with one with BVBSS, whatever the name is. Sorry, I butchered that.
BTS?
No, BVSS.
Oh, I'm like, he was on BTS shit?
BVDD. And he was on that girl on TikTok's her lead off single. And that means the record label pushed him on that.
True.
Either way, all I'm just trying to say is that I like the way he's going. I feel like, and I've said this before, he's on the hardest OGs records, and he's on the poppest records as well. Yeah. And I feel like that's just it just shows how good his sound is. So shout out to Wiz Khalifa for being my feature artist of the year.
I have to try to run that little Juicy J track for a little bit.
That's it, girl.
Where's he at the end?
Towards the end, yeah.
That's your girl and why my dick in her mouth.
Ooh.
If that's your girl, then why she blowing this ounce? If that's your girl, what's all that texting about?
And we won't even get the flop.
That's your girl, then why
Now
she
we will.
in my DM? If that's your girl, then why she calling my friend?
Yo, if that's your girl, yo, that's a.
And then the flow, when he does the flow switch, that goes hard.
That's a bar, yo.
His flow was hard.
Fam, if that's your girl, why she in my DM?
Jeez.
If that's your girl, why her dick in my mouth? That's a hard line. He said that though. He did. That's the first line he said.
There we go.
Hold on. Why am I thinking that wrong? My bad. I said that wrong. Either way, it don't make sense.
Whoa! Hey, yo!
Pause. I read that. I heard that back. I heard that back. I heard that back.
Pause.
I heard that back. I heard that back.
Super pause. Holy!
I heard that back. I heard that back.
Whoa! Hey, yo!
Ooh.
It's okay. It was a tongue twister.
It happens to the best of us.
So what's the next topic?
I don't even know where we're at right now. Where we at?
My God! You know what I mean? We're gearing towards the end. Let's get into some of our sort of top awards, if we want to call it that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So kind of our higher level awards, if we want to say. R&B Artist of the Year.
R&B or rap?
R&B.
Oh, R&B Artist of the Year.
The year.
This is for you two.
Yeah. R&B Artist of the Year. Now, while you're thinking of
I didn't do this one.
Well,
I couldn't do it.
Now you got one
You're
on
going to
the
have
spot.
about 3 minutes to pick because I'm going to give my opinion.
Yes.
I'll stretch it out to 3 minutes.
This actually hurt my brain yesterday. Like I could not do it.
Hey man.
So I did
On the
mention
spot.
Tiana Taylor, the album was album of the year. Sorry,
yeah.
R&B album of the year for me.
Yeah.
But I also explained, I guess I'll give my answer.
Oh, damn.
My R&B artist of the year is Kalani.
And you said because
And exactly.
Jason Tatum.
For every single reason that I explained, Jason Tatum, she has shown that she can carry. She has expanded her craft. She has expanded her skill. She has developed her sound. She has come into her own comfort-wise, and she's talked about it. She's one of the faces of R&B at this point, at least from the women's perspective, which is the dominant perspective, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It is.
And that album just doesn't have a skip.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? And again, I was debating it. It's very much 1A, 1B with those albums. But I think that Tiana Taylor. I think I feel like I feel like Steve Harvey. Holy moly, damn, that was bad. That was bad.
Yo, the card.
Let me give myself that.
That was a good one.
But yeah, man, no, I think Kalani just had a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
Definitely for me deserves the top spot R&B artist of the year. Tripped mad hard there.
Trip up.
R&B
Don't
artist of the year.
slip up.
Putting you on the spot. It's a stick up. Reminded me of Biggie for some reason. The opposite of peace.
R&B Artist of the Year.
Yes, sir.
Like, I'm still, like, my brain hurts just thinking about this. There's so many different avenues that can go with this. Like,
Exactly.
I would go with Tiana Taylor because she probably had arguably the best album in R&B. I can go with Giveon. I can go with even Victoria Monet because she writes for Ariana Grande. So she dropped 2 albums this year and 2 fire albums in 1 year.
And that's all we know about.
Yeah,
for you know, she's probably writing for
other
Bieber.
people too. You know what I mean? So like, I'm probably gonna say Victoria Monet based off of that.
I love that pick.
Dropping her own album that was absolutely phenomenal, and then working on Ariana's album at the same time.
Yeah,
the work ethic alone is absolutely insane. So I can't not give that to her.
I love that pick. That's a great pick.
I like it.
That's actually a fucking solid pick.
We're gonna
put
you on the spot.
I like that. Well, shit, you came through.
Exactly.
Perform in the clutch.
Cool. Let's move on then to Rapper of the Year.
Rapper of the Year.
Rapper of the Year, man.
Hard. I'll start this one out.
Please do.
I get Rapper of the Year to Lil Baby.
I'm not mad at that at all, man.
Can you give me a little round of applause, please?
Yes. Yeah. Let me give you that. Wait, hold on.
Give me a round of applause.
Wait, hold on again. Wait. Say you're gonna mention your Rapper of the Year again, please.
My Rapper of you want me to say that, or I'm gonna
just start? That part because I'm gonna.
My Rapper of the Year is Lil Baby.
I think we did define that time.
I get Lil Baby because one, I think he had one of the top albums this year.
Yeah.
In My Turn, it aged gracefully. I also think he came out with a single that was really for the time, which was Bigger Than Life, Bigger Than was it?
The single.
The single.
My Turn. No.
My Turn's name was the album.
What?
The name of
bigger than life, biggest life. What's it called?
Yeah, something Bigger Than Life.
Come on, man. Okay. That big record.
Yeah, but
bigger picture.
Bigger picture. Yes, I feel like it was such a perfect record for the time.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people listen to it that wouldn't normally listen to rap just because it is Lil Baby.
One of the records of the year too.
I feel like he was on a lot of albums. He had a lot of features, and he set himself apart from Gunna this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which was huge for me, and I think he set himself as someone that's here to stay, and
someone that's going to be on top.
Exactly.
Of hip hop.
If not the new generation, but going to be one of the top. You know how we talk about Cole, Kendrick, Drake, and the fourth who could fill that. I feel like if there was a fourth for the next coming generation, he's up there already.
I agree with that.
He's solidified his spot.
I think it's Travis though, but he's close.
No, Travis is up there too.
Travis is on there too.
Yeah,
it's Travis, Lil Baby, and whoever Uzi, and then that fourth spot is.
I think the gap between Travis and him is a bit bigger, but
yeah,
he's getting there though for sure. I agree with that.
And that, yeah, exactly.
Okay, Lil Baby, Rapper of the Year. I'm not mad at that.
Dill, go next.
I think we're gonna have a unanimous award here because I'm gonna have to go with Lil Baby as well. Like nobody in hip hop had a bigger year than Lil Baby. Like remember, like a couple weeks ago, we were talking about the numbers that he was doing.
Yeah.
In comparison to Meg. Fam, like the numbers don't lie. Like this guy is doing crazy shit right now. To come from where he came from, not even rapping at all, from Young Thug having to pay him to be in the studio to being where he's at right now is a testament to his work ethic and how dedicated he is to his craft. Yeah. And nobody is doing, and you can see the results. The results are in the proof is in the pudding. You can say, right? Nobody has been doing what he's been doing this year in hip hop, and that's it.
I'm not mad at that, man. I'm not mad at that. So my Rapper of the Year is not unanimous.
Ooh.
It is not unanimous. I'm definitely going to give a curveball, man, because I'm thinking about the Rapper of the Year, right? I'm thinking about the Rapper of the Year, right? So that's what I'm
getting to the roots, the fundamentals.
I'm going with Ransom.
Okay.
I'm going with Ransom, right? Okay. And I got to go with Ransom because I think he dropped 4 projects this year.
Oh, shit.
He dropped a lot.
And Westside Gun were going crazy this year.
They're going insane. So Ransom, Ransom dropped, let's see here. He came out with Crime Scene not too long ago. He came out with Director's Cut Scene 3. That came out a few months ago. He came out with Soul Killer. He came out with, I thought it was one more than that too. I thought it was Scene 2 came out this year as well. I could be wrong. But he came out with a lot of music this year. And the thing about Ransom is that he's never underperformed, right? He's never dropped the ball in terms of his performance. He just doesn't have the limelight on him because that's not the subgenre of hip-hop that he's in.
Right,
yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, for people that kind of just enjoy... The way I described him almost 2 weeks ago. It's like it's partially rugged type street hip hop, but it's also a lot of knowledge on top of it. Yeah. It's also a lot of actual words, the actual messaging on top of that as well. It's a lot of wordplay, different things like that. And I love rappers that make, sports references and shit like that, right? So I think when I just think about rap performance, like this would be the rap performer of the year if this was a Grammy.
Yeah.
Even though it's not rap artist of the year type thing. What you're saying. That's kind of the way that I see it, and I think he deserves that top spot as rapper of the year. Lil Baby definitely did his thing from a mainstream perspective, but beneath the scenes,
I'm not mad at that at all.
It's 100% Ransom for me.
That's
a
good pick.
My 2020 rapper of the year, I'm gonna give that to Ransom. So let's applaud to close that out. So of course we got to make this as hard as possible, right? So we got to get to our MVP, right?
Ooh.
We got to get to our MVP, right? I mean, we talked about top R&B, we talked about top hip hop, we talked top album R&B wise. We're gonna get to our top rap albums, of course. But before we get to that final award, let's talk about your 2020 MVP. Who wants to take this one first? I'll go first while you guys
first. I can go first. I have one in mind, but like this award was super hard.
This one's still hard to me. I'm still thinking up to now. Even the names I put down, I don't even 100%. Those are just
I can interchange it with so many different artists, but I would say I would have to go with Pop Smoke for mine because how long his album stayed in the top, like as number one. Like I think it was like the record for this year for like the longest running at number one album.
Can we run that back? Say my top
my top artist and my MVP for 2020 has to be Pop Smoke.
Oh, this guy didn't.
Oh shit, Pop Smoke.
You got the realness, man. You got the realness on here.
There's not much explaining because like everybody knows what Pop Smoke did this year with his album.
Absolutely.
Like there's not much else I have to explain with it.
He brought the drill scene to mainstream.
Made drills like I'd say New York drill.
New York drill, yeah, that's why.
Because New York drill has a different bounce.
New York drill he brought it to the mainstream.
Yeah, for sure. And just like having his vibe, his aura, live on through his music. Everybody still does like the Pop Smoke dance and like the fucking little shuffle thing. Like he will live on for a long time. So.
And it was real impressive to see how much he had. He had a lot in the chamber. They came up with deluxe on deluxe on deluxe.
Yes, then
how much unreleased music did this guy have? And was he aware of his star power the whole time? You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate that we don't get to see that play out. But I'm not mad at that pick at all. At all.
Me neither.
I'll go next.
Okay, go next.
I'll go next. So my MVP, I'm gonna go with co-MVPs on this one.
Ooh, fair.
Co-MVPs on this one. Now, I won't provide too much explanation for one of my co-MVPs because you guys have talked about them. So I'm gonna put Lil Baby in that spot. Although just like I mentioned with the performer versus artist, I have Ransom as the top rapper. But I have Lil Baby as the MVP for the year.
Right.
And I had a problem with that, trying to put Lil Baby as like I wanted to kill him. He might be my MVP, but I want to put him there. But I also didn't want to put him as a rapper. But I also couldn't find anyone else.
And you know what? Ain't no wrong answer ultimately. But exactly. I think Lil Baby, very quickly I can say he is the top of what hip hop sounds like today.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I agree.
Yeah.
He has ascended himself, to your point, past Gunna.
Yeah.
I'll mention a few other points. You remember at the beginning of the year where we were joking around of Lil Baby or Gunna? That's to your point.
Yeah.
Remember we were also joking around, and we knew the answer, but we were joking around, Lil Baby or Da Baby? That was a real discussion at that time. And again, they are both A-class artists.
And they did have a track together on that Quality Control album, which didn't make... It was called like Baby on Baby. It was called
Baby versus Baby or something
like that. But I think, again, Lil Baby has established himself as the top artist, the top paid feature, the top everything. I go to him for sales, I go to him for fire verse, and I think what he's doing with today's sound, the mumble era came and left real quick. The vibe of the mumble era stayed, but we added some words and messages.
Of course. That was always going to happen.
And we knew that was going to happen, but Lil Baby has ascended himself as the top of that subgenre of hip-hop.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the leading subgenre of hip-hop right now.
Pretty much.
I'm not mad at that. He definitely has to be a co-MVP for me. My other co-MVP, West Side Gun. West Side Gun.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Now, some people might be wondering why West Side Gun and not Benny or not Conway, right? If I'm going to go with Griselda members. To me, and this is the best comparison I can make, whether you want to talk Conway, because Conway came out with 2 albums. Whether you want to talk Benny, because Benny is Benny.
Yep.
To me, West Side Gun is LeBron and their AD.
So he's the A.
LeBron is still the MVP of the team.
And they're just like...
They're the star player. Take it.
But LeBron
We have
is
the
LeBron.
same agency. We're both Rich Paul.
Yeah.
I'm letting you be the star.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm LeBron.
I'm sitting back and just chilling.
orchestrated this, and I'm still
don't get it
the
fucked
stats.
up. I'm doing my thing too. Like, don't get it fucked up.
I like
I'm not mad at that at all.
So I'm gonna give it to West Side Gun. I mean, I'm not gonna say single-handedly, but just from an executive perspective, he single-handedly brought Griselda from a bubbling noise to literally the top.
Everyone's talking about
and maybe not from a numbers perspective, but from a respect in the industry, from a notoriety, from a public acclaim. I think about Pray for Paris. I think about Fly God. I think about he released like 3-4 albums this year,
and all of them are fire.
And they're all fire.
Pray for Paris is probably one of my favorite rap
album is,
you know what I'm saying?
So,
yeah, you know, West Side Gun, man. Co-MVPs, Lil Baby, West Side Gun. I think those are definitely my 2 MVPs of this year.
That's a great pick.
Okay, so can I go?
Absolutely.
My MVP. So actually, I have 2 names written down, but one's more like a most improved player. So my MVP is actually Lil Baby. For all the same reasons you gave and all the same reasons me and Dill gave back in Rapper of the Year. He set himself apart in this new genre of rap, and this year was his year. Even with the pandemic, he still somehow made it work. My most improved is more like it's Lil Durk, and that's because coming into this year, I remember joking like Lil Durk is someone I've heard about, seen his name, but never actually listened to his music.
Yeah.
And he came out with an album, and everyone's like, you need to listen to the Lil Durk album. And I listened to it, and I'm like, oh shit! And he's done all these features, and ends the year with a feature with Drake. And I know some people are like, oh, that's not a criteria. Come on, in the music industry, getting a feature with Drake is huge. So because of that, Lil Durk, he's not the MVP because I think he didn't make the All-Star weekend. He may have not made an All-NBA team.
You know who he might be? All-Star Game MVP.
I like that, yes. All-Star Game MVP.
Like a Kyrie type of guy.
Yeah, he made like a 3rd-team All-NBA, struggled to push in there, but he had a solid year, and it's only, hopefully, we'll see what he does next year.
I think he's going to get better next year.
That's what we're hoping for.
I'm not mad at that. So let's round of applause to close that category out. We got next the final award.
Da-na-na-na.
Final award of the 2020.
That is going to sound like a big mush of white noise.
It might. It might. Or it might sound grandiose. Because, of course...
that's what we're going for.
We all listen to rap, man. We all listen to rap. That's probably the primary genre that we all listen to. So we're going to close out the 2020 TNV Awards with our top 5 rap albums of the year. Now...
As we all know, Harris don't follow rules.
Clearly I don't, right?
He does get 5, he gets 10.
I always have a ton of honorable mentions, and this year is absolutely no different. Do you have honorable mentions?
It's because of Harris we started on, because when I first started this, my thing was like, we stick to the rules. The whole point is the rules are the rules, and you have to limit yourself to that. And then Harris came with like 20 honorable mentions.
It's funny because not only do I have honorable mentions, but my top 5 rap albums has 6 albums on there.
Last year it was 8.
My top 5 album has 6 songs.
Last year you had 10 honorable mentions and 8 top albums. And we're just like...
rap albums. Where's my list? Okay, blah 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 blah.
How many honorable mentions do you have?
I got a couple. Not too many to be honest. I got Dark Lane demo tapes.
Yeah, just run it down because I'm not going to go into mine either.
Toby Elements. I think that's it. Okay, yeah, that's it.
I'll go next. I have Allegory by Royster 5'9". Dark Lane demo tapes by Drake. Even my throwaway shit is better than your whatever shit. Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist. This was hard to kick out of my top 5, and if I did have a top 6, it would have made it.
Not mad at that. Could have done what I did.
I follow the rules. Barnacles by Sababy. It's just a vibe for me. I like Sababy. That may be a little biased there. Actually, next few might be a little biased, but hey, fuck you, it's me. Legends Never Die by Juice WRLD. I don't like Postmortem albums, but Postmortem, was that right?
Yeah.
But I feel like
we're thinking about the other word, Posthumous.
Yeah.
Postmortem is also correct.
I feel like they did justice with this album. It's not my favorite, but for not having Juice WRLD's take on this, I felt it did it justice.
Yeah.
And last one is Never Forget Made in Tokyo. I like Made in Tokyo's vibe. He got me chilling. So this album was good, and it had Wiz Khalifa Fire Verse.
Jeez, what a way to bring that back, right? Okay, my honorable mentions. I got Big Conspiracy by J Hus. Definitely on my list. You'll notice that my honorable mentions are going to be a lot of early albums, right? Yeah. These are just albums that I almost want to say pre-pandemic at this point.
Actually, all of them are.
Black Habits by D Smoke.
Pre-pandemic? That was February 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Better by Deontay Hitchcock.
That was
pre-pandemic.
February as well.
Right. I have King's Disease by Nas. I think that was a super quality album that would definitely make a top 10 list of mine, but just not a top 5.
Not top 6.
Not exactly rap, but I'm still going to put it there for the sake of hip-hop, right? So maybe top 5 hip-hop albums of the year. I'm going to include While the World Burns by St. John.
Okay.
That was a...
Definitely.
That was an album.
And honorable mention for me, for sure, I could not keep this one out. The Sharecropper's Daughter by Ciroc, the MC. Probably one of the highest level of lyricism we've seen this year from an album.
Okay.
Please go listen to that. The Sharecropper's Daughter, Ciroc, the MC.
Word.
Let's get into our list, though. Now, you guys all have top 5s. Yes. I have 6. So I'm going to start with number 6.
So number 6.
I'm going to start with number 6. Now, again, I don't need to explain this, but I'm going to go with Director's Cut Scene 3 by Ransom.
Okay.
Again, high-level rapping. Enough said. Go listen to that. You're sleeping if you don't.
Just to bring this back full circle, 2018, you said the rapper to watch out for in 2019, or the artist to watch out for in 2019 was Reason. Just so you know.
No,
you
I said Reason. I'm talking Ransom.
Oh, Ransom.
I get what you mean, though. I was like, hold on. I was so close. I was like, did I say Ransom?
Oh, damn.
Damn, I almost wanted to put Reason on my Underwhelming album. But then I heard his Reason, and I was like, oh.
That makes sense.
Oh, let me get myself that. That was accidental.
Yeah. I just took it slow.
Cheeky. That was cheeky. All right, man. So top 5. Let's call it top 5 hip hop albums.
Yeah, I actually meant to write hip hop on this, and it is.
Yeah, and I meant to say hip hop. I don't know why I said rap. Yeah, top 5 hip hop albums of the year. I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, at this point, probably some of these albums don't need as much explanation unless we haven't mentioned them before. But number 5, I'm gonna go with My Turn by Lil Baby.
Yep.
Spoke about him as my MVP. Enough said. But believe it or not, MVP gets you top 5, number 5 on my rap albums of the year or my hip hop albums of the year list. So yeah, I'm going Lil Baby. My turn.
I'll go next. My number 5 actually, believe it or not, was number 5. I did not see your list when I was making my list. I actually did mine so completely different just to make sure I don't have any bias.
Yeah, I never look at yours. But you didn't say what your number 5 was. You said my number 5 is number 5.
My number 5 is
Mambo
My
number
Turn.
5? This guy rates Mambo number 5 like that, bro. Are you kidding me, bro?
My Turn by Lil Baby. Like we've said, he had a fire year. The album was fire at the end of the year. I was bumping it again recently, and it still is hard. Like he has himself different. He has himself apart from everyone else in his class, and this album was part of what makes him different.
100%.
All right,
Dylan.
My number 5 album is Burden of Proof.
Okay, I like that.
I'm not mad at that pick.
It didn't make my honorable mention, but it was so close to making it.
It would have been like a top 15 list for me if I was to extend it.
It's gonna go. The top 25 list was at this album. Okay, why Burden of Proof? Dill Dots.
It was good. Like honestly, like. I had a lot, like very, very high expectations for this album, and it was almost at the expectations I had for it. So that's why it's number 5.
Fair enough.
Simple. Sometimes it's that simple. All right, man. So let's move on to number 4. My number 4 hip hop album of the year, Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist.
That's an honorable mention for me.
Yeah, honorable mention for me too.
Yeah, so I'm definitely including that on my list. I think Freddie Gibbs was an MVP candidate this year. I think that this is his second or third year in a row of doing this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And, I mean, I have Alchemist on my Rushmore of producers, personally. He's always been there. So when you get both of them together, it's going to be fire.
Yeah,
and I think this album performed. I think this album got the correct acclaim that it should have. Complex hip hop likes it. If you know, you know. That audience likes this album a lot too, and I think that helps to push it and give it some extra flavor.
It does.
But Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs, man, I think that was a super quality album, top to bottom. It's an album experience. It's Alchemist. Enough said.
I like that. Like the Alfredo, like we said, was both in our me and Dylan's honorable mention. My number 4 was Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon by Pop Smoke. Again, 2 posthumous albums in one. I said we're probably just gonna say it wrong.
Postmortem, I think you
I used Postmortem last time. In one list for me is really rare, but I feel like it brought New York drill to the map. Yeah. Put it on the map, and Pop Smoke made it fun to listen to. Like even though it was heavy with features, he didn't sound out of place with any of the features. Mm-hmm. And I felt like this album, even for him not being involved, was really, really good. And yeah, it just showed us what he had and what we are missing out on and what we are never going to see. So shout out to Pop Smoke.
Definitely.
Rest in peace. We're on number 4.
4.
Numero 4.
So for me, it's My Turn.
My Turn made top 5 for everyone. Shout out to
yeah, because like in terms of like rapping, like the thing is like Lil Baby raps. Like if you really listen to what he's saying, like he raps. Yeah. He can actually rap. So I have to put it up here with the rappers.
He has a pen.
I can't deny him.
Agreed.
And that's what we were saying by saying stuff from Gunna. Like Gunna doesn't rap. Like Gunna has a vibe. Gunna has a
Gunna
flow.
Gunna would have been an underwhelming album as well.
See, I had low expectations for it already, so it really did underwhelm me.
It whelmed.
I used to like Gunna more than Baby.
Me too.
At the top of the year,
everyone thought Gunna was like better than Baby, but if you realize,
we thought it was Tierra Marie and Rihanna.
And then Rihanna, you just see like that person sets themselves apart. It happens. Tierra Marie.
I remember when they gave Tierra Marie the better single.
That was wild.
Oh my god.
It be like that sometimes.
You want a Patty, yo.
Damn.
I could fuck a Patty.
Yo, go to Randy's right now.
How does mad far?
Oh man. Number 3 top hip hop album of the year. I'm gonna go with Pray for Paris by Westside Gunn. I think of the albums that he released this year, this one is the best quality in my opinion. I think that it has the truest album feel of what he has come out with. And I mean, again, I've mentioned this many times. Westside Gunn is my third favorite member of Griselda, right? So I've mentioned that several times, and this album to me, I was like, whoa, I'm into this. This is way better than I thought it was. So this is one of those instances where I was sort of realizing Westside Gunn's excellence as an executive at the time of listening to this, at the time of being over impressed with the actual music itself, and I was just like, damn, okay, this guy's really MVP. And that's kind of when I made that decision in that moment. So I have to put the album that kind of brought me to that place. So definitely Pray for Paris by Westside Gunn.
Interesting.
That's gonna be number 3 on my list.
Interesting.
Okay.
Like I remember saying earlier that I thought Pray for Paris was better than Burden of Proof, but like once I did my revisiting, I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Burden of Proof is better. Jeez.
Yeah. So we're on number 3.
Number 3. Yes.
I got Written Testimony by Jay Electronica. And I'm gonna say Jay Electronica and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Cause but basically like fuck, it was really tough. Like when it gets to like the level like 3, 2, and 1, it's like this album could have been number 1 to be honest for me. Jay Electronica was like the shit that he was rapping about, the content in the raps, the production, like the grittiness, the unmixed, unmastered sort of feel, the element of it was very, very hip hop to me. So like I had to put it in my top rap albums of this year.
Okay. My number 3 album, believe it or not, it's going to take a little bit to understand, but it's Lil Uzi's Eternal Take. But, let me finish, the deluxe part, the Love versus Rage, Love versus the World 2.
Yes.
That part came out like a week after.
That part was significantly better.
It added 14 tracks to the album, and this had the Uzi we like. The Uzi with features with like 21 Savage, Gunna, Young Thug, Nav, Lil Durk, speaking of Lil Durk, Young Nudie, Chief Keef. And this is why Lil Uzi was on my top artist of the year, was because of this part of his album. And that is the Eternal Take Deluxe version. The deluxe part, it's not even say the version, the deluxe part only, which is 14 tracks. And he also called it Love vs. the World 2. So it was almost like a mixtape. And Love vs. the World was one of...
And it's almost like you can just say, well, that's one of my... You know what I mean? Like, it's almost to that point, because it is almost intentionally that different.
Yeah. On Spotify, it separates out the album and that part completely. So that is my number 3 album of the year, because I do like Lil Uzi, and I do think he is a leader in this new style.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay.
Let's move on then to number 2.
What you got?
Number 2 hip-hop album of the year for 2020. Welcome to the TNV Awards. You know what I'm saying? TNV Awards, we're here. My number 2 is A Written Testimony by Jay Electronica and Jay-Z, of course. Well, I mean, for many reasons. First of all, the level of hope that we get on that is not a level to sleep on, right? I remember, I think it was earlier this year or maybe last year, it was mentioned on the Joe Budden podcast, and almost jokingly, that there was a conversation with Jay-Z very recently where he said, yo, I think I'm getting sharper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you might be.
And I thought about that ever since, because he came out with like the What's Free verse and things like that. And we know Jay-Z to be Jay-Z at the end of the day. But for him to be on an album almost as much as he was on like Watch the Throne, almost as much as he was on like the Carters type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Like a collab album.
That alone makes it a top album.
No, you're right.
You got Hove.
Yeah, facts.
You got high level Hove.
Like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Really, really high level Hove.
Outside of that, Jay Electronica, like you said, a lot of the things that he's saying on here are things that fit into just what my personal style of hip hop is.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer the Lupe Fiasco type of hip hop.
Got you.
Where you guys heard what was going on in Chatty House with recording bars.
Yeah.
Just the thought that goes behind it. Whether you feel it's fire or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Mind you, if it's overly nerdy, then it's overly nerdy.
It is.
But when you kind of just hear it and you're like, yo, there's so many different layers and directions. I almost have to study your work.
Yeah.
I almost have to study it like it's journalism or something like that.
I like that shit.
So, that's the type of stuff that I like, because that's the type of stuff Jay-Z does it, Jay Electronica does it, Lupe Fiasco does it, a few other artists that do it as well, where you almost find new bars and meanings every single time you listen to it.
Yep.
And also something that just I personally like, I've always liked this type of hip-hop. I love hip-hop that is engineered like garbage.
Yeah. I hate that.
I don't know why I love it so much. I think it reminds me of like 88.1 radio.
Yeah,
I think it reminds me of like
raw
mixtapes. Like
it's mixtapes.
It brings me back to that gritty feel.
I hate that. I like polished.
I love it. I hate polished music. I fucking hate polished music. I don't know what it is.
I think that's why I hate Jack Harlow.
His name is Jack Harlow?
No, that's why I hate Jack Harlow.
No, I was forgetting his name. I thought it was his name. I'm like, isn't it James Harlow?
It's Tyler Hero.
It's Tyler Hero.
One day I wanted to listen to him or something, and I was like, yo, what's his name? Tyler Hero. I'm like, no, that's the NBA player. I'm like, yo, Tyler Hero's the name of the song.
Tyler Hero probably has bars too. Shit.
Oh man.
He says he does. I was listening to him on
that's cap.
I was listening to him on JJ Redick's podcast, and he was like, he has bars, like he would never release it. He's recorded songs when he was in school.
Keep it or leak it? Keep it.
Keep it though, yeah. That's what I mean. Keep it, like don't release it.
Shit. So yeah.
Oye,
my number 2 hip hop album of the year, A Written Testimony, Jay Electronica.
Jeez.
That's number 2, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, number 2 for Dill. I'm gonna have to go with Detroit 2.
I'm not mad at that at all.
That didn't make
almost made honorable mention.
It almost did too.
Fam, this is Big Sean is rapping on this album,
and that's I need to go back and give it some few
like
more
the same
spin,
reasons why I like Jay Electronica's album, because of the things that he's saying on it. Big Sean is doing that, but he's doing it from the like it's very, very introspective, like talking about his depression, talking about certain things he goes through. The Nipsey verse was absolutely crazy. Fuck, what is it? Fuck rap. I'm a street legend. Oh man,
that record. You know what I can give a comparison to in terms of not even necessarily finding their sound, but growing in their sound.
Growth.
Big Sean is hip hop's Kalani.
Very close. I could almost agree with that.
I can see parallels there in terms of like, whoa, they've evolved as a person, making their music that much better.
And like being able to put that into the music and make it sound good at the same time is a skill in itself.
Definitely.
So shout out to Big Sean, Detroit too.
My number 2 album of the year is The GOAT by Polo G. I listened to Polo G's first album and I thought it was trash. I won't even lie to you. I thought it was trash. And so when this album came out, I heard about it and I was like, it's Polo G. Like, I've heard him on a few features. He's alright. And as I listened to this more and more, it grew on me more and more. It was a point where I was listening to it almost every day.
Yeah.
I really like this album. I feel like he has a sound that, even though it does sound generic, actually does not sound generic. His sound does not sound generic because he has like, his instrumentals are a lot like live instrumentals. You hear a lot of guitars in his instrument, a lot of pianos, not just synths. He doesn't auto-tune his voice. And like, for his age, I feel like he can write a lot better than a lot of people his age. And he writes real about shit he lives about. He's not capping on his records. Yeah. He's not even talking about shooting people. I thought he's talking about him not wanting to shoot people. Him talking about people's feelings and him understanding where people are coming from when they get mad and they want to do something irresponsible. He talks about that. He's like, oh yeah, if you do this, then it may understand why that guy wants to do this. So I don't know. I just think he's an up and comer that you need to watch out for. Polo G, The GOAT, number 2 album of the year.
Shout out Polo G.
I got a random sidebar. You know what? It was a real enjoyable album that makes nothing on this list and will never make anything on this list.
What was it?
Savage Mode 2 by
Yo, I had it.
I deadass was thinking that, but I don't know where to put it.
I had it too. I'm like, it doesn't fit any of my list. Like, no, it's not a top album. I really liked it.
I love that.
Honestly,
album,
bro. Pussy.
You know what? Next year I'm gonna have a category that says albums I enjoyed. You just simply enjoy this. Because there's some albums I enjoyed, but I don't think they were top albums.
I really enjoyed that album.
Like Made in Tokyo's album, I don't think it was a top album, but like I want to
have just like an enjoyable, and not even a list, just freestyle some albums you enjoy.
Just enjoy it. Yeah,
we'll work on that.
Next year.
Shout out 21 Savage, bro. That album's fine.
Yeah, but that one was good. Yeah, I like how you said that.
Yeah, it just didn't fit.
It was a good album. It just wasn't like a top album.
All right, that was a nice little teaser to our number 1. So let's get into our number 1.
What you got?
Top hip hop project of the year. I'm going to give that to Mick Jenkins.
Ooh.
The Circus.
Okay.
Circus by Mick Jenkins. And I have to first start by saying it was my most played hip-hop album.
Okay.
It was the one album I referred to when I said to myself, I have a 30-minute drive. What do I feel like putting on? It was an album where I said to myself, I can pick out 2-3 records. Sometimes you go to an album only, like sometimes you go to Lil Baby's album only for My Turn and Bigger Picture.
Right? I like the 42 Ducks song.
Or exactly, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to the 42
Who by the way almost made my feature artist, 42 Doug, because I thought he was firing all his features
at all. But yeah, I can go to it for 2 or 3 records, whether it's the Earth Gang record or whether it's the first record, Carefree, or different things like that.
Yeah.
Or I can go to it for the full album listen, right? And I think that this album to me, there's just literally no skips on it. I think Mick Jenkins as an artist, again, he fits in the style of artist that I like. I spoke about the more, lack of better word, advanced part of it from a lyrical perspective or for what goes into the lyrics. But I think Mick Jenkins more so represents the instrumentation. He uses a lot of jazz elements in his music, and as well as he's a poet.
Yeah.
So
right. So it's not just about bars, but it's also about how the words flow with one another and intentionally. Again, you heard Lupe Fiasco talk about it. Sometimes it's not the choice of words. Sometimes it's the choice of tone. Right. And I think Mick Jenkins does that as an artist specifically in his entire catalog, but also in this album specifically. So the Circus, Mick Jenkins, like I said. No skips on that. Same old as it bangs. Carefree bangs. The Light bangs. Flaunt bangs. Everything bangs on this thing. It's short. It's sweet. It's only 7 songs. It's 20 minutes. and that represents the top hip hop album of the year for me. I'm giving it to Mick motherfucking Jenkins, The Circus.
It's not a bad pick at all. For me,
Caramel God,
the Caramel God, Dill Dot,
Fly
the
God,
Podcast K Dot,
Fly God.
I'm gonna have to go with Streams of Thought. Hands down.
I like that.
When it comes to rappers, yeah, nobody's rapping better than Black Thought this year.
Yeah. That's actually a good pick.
I not only did I want that in my top 5.
Yeah.
I also really wanted that in honorable, but I just didn't want to like give so many honorables.
It's one of those albums I enjoy. That's why next time I just got albums I enjoyed and just go.
Believe it or not, it could be number 1.
It could be,
and it's definitely number 1 for me.
You know what Streams of Thought is? Okay, I have the perfect comparison to Streams of Thought. Fantasy Basketball 2020. Before the season is over, somebody who drafted Kevin Durant.
Right at the end of the year.
It's Streams of Thought because it could be like number 12. But it could perform at number 1, and that's what to me that's what it is. So when you say Streams of Thought number 1, I'm like, I agree.
I get it.
Yeah, like,
but yet it didn't make my top 5. It didn't make my top 6. It didn't make my honorable mention. But I can agree with that.
There's so much hip hop that came out this year. It's like it's so hard to like just narrow it down to 5 albums. Like, and it comes down to like to how you feel at that time. Like
that's the thing.
I can possibly put the Allegory at number 1. To be honest,
exactly.
And then tomorrow it's not there,
and it's not going to be there tomorrow. You know what I mean? But like. Streams of Thought is probably the most consistent hip-hop album that I listened to this year. From just the raps, like Streams of Thought with like raps without any hooks or any like features, to having the features and having one of the best Pusha T verses that I heard this year. What else? The other shit though, like with Portugal the Man.
The Portugal the Man, yep.
Those shits were fire too. So like it's the most complete album. So you got raps, you got songs.
I think I would have put Portugal on my non-rap hip hop in that case. They came out with solid. What didn't come out with Woodstock this year? What's it called? Portugal the Man.
Portugal the Man.
What did they come out with this year?
I'm not sure.
Fuck.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyways, I'm tripping.
But yeah. Shout out to Black Thought, number 1 album.
I'm not mad at that at all.
All right, my number 1 album, Just Shola's number 1 album of the year 2020 is the recently released Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon.
Wasn't lying.
3, The Chosen. Of course I wasn't lying.
Episode 134, listen to the end of the Kid Cudi review to see what Shola said.
Honestly, like Man on the Moon 1, I've always thought was one of my favorite albums. It's up there. This is the continuation of Man on the Moon 2, not 1, but I just like where he's coming from on this. The fact that I understand the theme. No, I'm not saying anyone else doesn't, but I understood where he was coming from when it started. Right away, and all that stuff. Like I understood where he was going from. Each song, I can get where he's going to or what he's trying to deliver. Like I feel like I connected to this in a way that I connected to Man on the Moon 1. And it's just one of those albums that I'm going to listen to for the next few years.
Yeah, and further to your point, so again, I was, I think before we recorded, I was talking about Lupe Fiasco the Cool coming up with his 13th year anniversary. Obviously, they kind of came out around the same time, right? I feel like that's when you're starting to develop your own personal taste for music.
Exactly.
13 years ago, I would have been 15, 16 at the time.
Yeah.
You're kind of coming into your own in terms of, no, this is my opinion.
This is what I like.
Not what the kids are going with. This is not, there's almost less social choice in how you make your music choices. So Cudi's gonna forever be cemented as one of those artists.
Exactly.
Lupe is forever cemented as one of those artists for me. Someone who's a little bit younger than I am would cement Travis Scott in there.
Exactly.
Or whoever they're Young Thug or Future or you know what I mean.
Whoever they're related to at that point.
Definitely, I can see that for sure.
So shout out to.
I like that. That's a good comparison because a lot of this shit comes from Lupe, and what comes from Lupe might come from Cudi as well, and what comes from Cudi. Like the Travis, like so that's like the lineage of it, sort of thing. You know,
listening to this Kid Cudi album, I'm taking me back like all these guys got their styles from Kid Cudi.
Yeah,
the king of alternative hip hop. Like sometimes like it's not even rap. He's doing his thing, but
St. John was on my thing list.
Yeah,
my
exactly,
rap albums
exactly.
List, right? Or my which album? Where did I put him?
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Sorry.
Yeah, top rap album. Honorable mention.
Yeah. St. John is Kid Cudi.
Yeah, they rap over different beats. Some
same artists.
Electronic beats, some rap beats, some drill beats. So shout out to them, man.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all, man.
I like everyone's list.
That was a real quality. I feel like we went quality across the board.
We did.
Holy, I feel like we covered a few unique perspectives.
I did a lot better than I thought I would.
Me too. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. It was really fucking hard.
I didn't have my shit ready to this morning.
This morning I was finalizing my stuff.
The only thing I had ready yesterday was R&B. And then I was like,
R&B was probably like, yeah, I got that one done the quickest.
Yeah, R&B was, so. I was on it this year. But, everything else, I was like, fuck, do I love, it's like a fantasy draft you didn't prepare for. Do I love this?
I know, right? It's like, I'm thinking about this. Like,
and then the draft happened, and I'm like, okay.
Okay. That's like how, when I put in my thing, I'm like, you know what? I look at my list, I'm happy with my list.
Final answer.
Yes.
Final answer. Yeah, so, again, I mean, this is the exciting thing about the TNV Awards. Of course, you're always going to get different perspectives when required. You're going to get, unanimous perspectives where required. You're going to be able to see how we kind of put things on the depth chart. Like, for example, Lil Baby, like you mentioned, 4-4 or 5-5-4, right? Whoever in what order. But it kind of just speaks to, what different projects did this year and sort of how they were acclaimed and how different sets of ears heard them, right? So we're going to stop there for the 2020 TNV Awards. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. Another year out. Definitely going to be interesting to see what 2021 looks like.
Let's go.
For especially how long this pandemic lasts at this point. And like we said, man, be out on the lookout for some additional awards that are not in this episode. It will not be on digital streaming platforms. No, so it won't be on your Spotify, your Apple Podcast, your Google Podcast, etc. It will be exclusive to IGTV as well as YouTube. So definitely be out on the lookout for that.
And in the comments, let us know what categories you want us to talk about. Cause
that's a good one.
We haven't recorded all our categories yet, and we can still sprinkle some here and there. And give you a shout out when you give us the name. So
definitely.
Comment below what categories you want us to talk about, and hey.
Yeah, let's make that.
You might sponsor the category.
Let's make that a little mini contest, right? Whoever can come up with the most interesting additional category for us to talk about, our category will be virtually sponsored by them.
There we go.
Yeah, virtually sponsored.
Virtually sponsored.
So I guess
you don't gotta pay nothing to get that sponsorship too.
On that note,
let's go.
Please cue the music. This will take us to the ends, the unfortunate ends of another episode of the True North Views podcast, and
all good things come to an end.
Another edition of the True North Views Awards, the TNV Awards 2020. It's been great. It's been fun. We definitely want to hear what albums you guys, the listeners, have on their respective lists.
Sir.
And we ask just one thing, of course.
One thing.
Please continue that conversation by telling a friend to tell 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 a friend. Please. The world only works in 6 degrees.
6 degrees.
So if you tell 6 people and tell them to tell 6 more people each and wash, rinse, repeat.
What he said.
Everyone will know about the True North Views podcast, and then we end up being bigger than the Grammys.
Hey, that's it.
And we talk about multi TNV award winning.
You know what I'm saying?
Actually, you know what? Next year I'm gonna count how many people actually won awards by us. Because we can just pull up the record. I can pull up the receipts.
That's crazy.
I'd like to do like some Toronto
awards.
And that
I definitely
don't 2021, 20. Just relax, everybody.
Incorporate that somehow.
Don't give out the tea all in one episode.
Yeah, let's not give out the tea. That's some BTS conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
And I was gonna say, because we didn't talk about music I listened to this week or new music. Shaq is dope. Speaking of Toronto rappers,
okay,
he came out with a project. I think it's really solid. I'll talk about it more when we get back to a regular format episode. But speaking of Toronto rappers, shout out to Shaq is dope. Go listen to his project. It just came out. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you won't be disappointed.
Made the award episode as a nod, just for the hell of it. As a nod,
shit. Just for being from Toronto.
Hey man, now as usual, I go by the name of Harris.
Dill Dot, the Caramel God.
Skirt Master, Mr. Triple Double himself. I got 0 assist. Cheers. Stealing 70 mil from the TTC.
Cheers.
You can call me Just Shola.
And just tell them that number 1 rule, man.
Yeah, watch out for the wastemans.
Yeah, watch out for these motherfucking wastemans. They're dangerous out there.
Dangerous.
They really are.
Dangerous.
It's the True North Views podcast. Is this our 3rd edition of awards?
3rd one, yep.
It's the 3rd edition of the True North Views Awards, the TNV Awards, the 2020 TNV Awards. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our show. Definitely can't wait to see what 2021 looks like. But listen, man, in the meantime, just stay blessed. Just stay blessed. It's the True North Views Podcast, episode 135.
We out.
Peace.
Instagram is dangerous, bro.